Welcome to another Flights with Joel. We are out here at a nice little airport in California, and we have got the 205 high skid, as I think there's been quite a few videos already made about the other helicopters. I thought I would give this one a little love. So far, this could be my favorite helicopter. People often ask me what my favorite helicopter is. I may start to answer now. Not only because I like this aircraft in the sim, but I also like this aircraft, period. There are a lot of them in use, and I just love the thing. So this is the 205 high skid with nothing on it. I believe I took everything off. And now here is the 205 high skid with everything on it. I put everything you could find in the toolbox on here. We're gonna start it up. We're gonna fill up that water tank with water. And then we're gonna dump some water. And then we're gonna watch, just watch a little bit more video of Hueys and such flying around together. That's about all we're gonna do. And I'm of course gonna give my opinion early on. If you want to skip ahead and just watch the fun helicopter flight at the end, I'm so close to saying this is the best helicopter in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's my favorite. And I know because I have flown simulators for 20 years and I'm not a real pilot. So you've got to listen to what I say. Okay, let's have a look at a few more things. Before I start dinking around inside, we will open all the doors, or at least a couple of the doors. So here we are, doors open, and you can have a look at that beautifully detailed interior. Now, beautifully detailed indeed. It also, when you are with other aircraft, and we tested it thoroughly yesterday on a flight I did, the most aircraft I've ever had on one of my Twitch streams. We had probably 30 aircraft, over 20 of them were Hueys. So the detail can hit you a little bit when you get into the massive flights. I mean, I'm not even a very big deal as far as streamers go. There may be other streamers that could get 50 of these in the air. So that might affect your performance a smidge. But let's start getting a closer look here. So, number one, right here that I really love. First of all, it's dirty. It's scratched up. It's nifty. When you move the cyclic, look what happens. It moves. It does all the animations that it's supposed to. That's the cyclic. Here's the collective. So you're not going to see this most of the time, right? It's a very small thing. It's not as big a deal as the needle splitting, which I'll talk about later. It also has a beautiful detailed engine. And we're going to have to close that hatch before we get started. They do animate, but you have to be fast. You have to be fast. So now that we've made it ridiculously heavy with all this stuff, I also took the pilots out right here. Let me throw them back in real quick. There we go. There's our nice pilots. Dudes. I have them invisible in the cabin because for me that's better. There is also a crew. We'll check that out in a moment. But let's hop in and give it a start. It has a... Oh, also, while I'm here, let's look at the manual. Right here, the manual. It has a very detailed manual. I'm going to use the first start sequence. There is a start sequence. They have the history, specifications, characteristics, flight characteristics, which I think they've gotten very close. But again, I'm no expert. If someone would like to give me a ride in their Huey and let me fly it around, then I could give you a much better assessment. This is a great thing to read through. It would take me hours right now. We're not going to do that. Specifications, everything about the engine, flight characteristics. It also has realistic features, which I may have talked about in the intro, but we're going to go right to here. So this is the before. We're going to start there. Now, if you want to get even a better idea of how to do this, there's a whole section on flowcharts. So this shows you actually how to do the flow. Use this list in a flow type manner so you can flow right through the checklist. It's very handy. It's a great way to do things. So I might be fumbling around a teeny bit, but what that's about is you're pretty much memorize things good, and then you're going along and checking things off rather quickly. Okay, jump inside. Hit my main button. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Hit my main button. Let me try this now. Turn this on. So this way I can really get a good look around. And the wear and tear, just the detail again. Spectacular. Look, it's got a first aid kit over there. Oh, I didn't put on everything. Actually, this may not have it. The UH-1 has armored seats. This may not have it, as it's a 205 high skid. So it's a more modern version of the aircraft. You have a gauge here for the tank. So now I'm going to take off everything but what I need to do a water drop, basically. We're going to get rid of a lot of that stuff. Oh, and you've got a drink over here. And this is what you use to attach and remove things. So we want our wire cutters and mirrors. I don't need the camera. I don't really need the basket. It kind of gets in the way. I like the winch. Leave the particle separator in. I need the water tank. Now you can have a Bambi bucket also if you'd rather do Bambi bucket. Leave the steps on. No, don't use the step. I don't need those with the water tank. It kind of gets in the way. Bear paws definitely will be we could be landing in rough areas. And okay, so now I'm going to close the hatch. I'm going to quickly jump outside to see if we can see it close. Here's the left hatch. No, I'm on the wrong side. Okay, here's the right hatch. See, it was too fast for me. It's just too darn fast. I missed it, but it does animate. I guess you'll have to take my word for it. I don't know. Pilot door is visible. Everything's visible. We will need to close our doors. Go to page 2. Page 2 is if you want to turn things off, if you do not want vortex simulation, if you do want a tablet, so you can put a tablet on the dash, which for firefighting operations we would probably have. So let's put that up there. You can turn this into a medical cabin. So we can turn the whole back into a medical cabin. And then you have it this way. And you have a medevac helicopter, just like that. Very nice. Very nice. Jump back in the front, turn that off for demonstration purposes on. But if you want to do medevac missions, you can show the crew inside. So you can do that and have your crew in here. And you can have an entire battalion in the back, if you'd like, in the UH-1 Huey. Now, this is the craziest thing. First of all, modern avionics. So the modern avionics are just a tablet in the middle. It's something. If this is what you want, I think most setups are a little more than that, but that's cool. So modern avionics. Now, it also says cabin decoration. So there's an option to turn off the hula girl, which I don't know. I think that's just wrong. But if that bothers you, you can get rid of it. No worries. Engine is all good. Here's how you repair damage once you break it. You can turn off the damage right there. Might be a good idea for me. We're going to try it with the damage on. So now, look at a much cleaner helicopter. That's more like it. So it's not crazy business there. That is more like it. Yeah. And let's give it a start. So first we will close the doors. you hear that? Just one more time. I love it. I love it. And here. Oops. Where'd my door go? My door's gone. I thought you could. That's weird. I haven't had this problem before. I've been able to just... Oh, do I grab this? No, I've been able to just grab it and close it. Or have I not even tried closing it? Oh my gosh. I don't know how to get that door. There it is. No, that opens that door. Uh-oh. And this one doesn't open. Ah, shoot. Do I have to use the board? I think I have to use... Oh. Okay. That is very difficult, though. That click spot's really hard to find. Can I get it through here, maybe? No. Huh. This is really hard to get to. There it is. Again, I love the sounds, but man, that is difficult. Okay, I'll turn this off temporarily. It's a little easier to see things, and we'll start jumping through the checklist. First thing is DC circuit breakers in, except for armament and special equipment. Now, those are up there. As far as I can tell, they're not operational yet, but it's great. Still on the checklist. Dome light switch set as required. Dome light is here. It's not required. Pitot heat switch off. Pitot heat is here. It is in the off position. Anti-collision light switch on. Anti-collision light on. It is on. Oh, it was set to on when I came in. Interesting. Position light switch as required. Position light switch we'll put to steady. There we go. NVG position light switch as required. Now that's down here. You don't use the position light and the NVG light together. I read that when I went to read the flowchart. So we're leaving that off. Cargo relay switch to off. Cargo relay switch is here. It is off. Check. Wiper switch to off. Wipers are off. I don't believe they're functional yet. Cabin heating switch is off. These are the cabin heating switches. They're both set to off. Instrument lighting switches as required. So you can, if it's dusk or dawn, if you need lighting, this does work. They work great, actually. They work very good. Very nice. AC power voltmeter phase selector switch set to AC. So that's right here. Set to AC. Check. Inverter switch off. Inverter is here. It is set in the middle, which is off. Main gen switch on, cover closed. So that's here. I've always found it to be on. Cover is closed. Check. DC power voltmeter, select switch, select essential bus. That's where it is now. Non-essential bus switch, normal on. It is normal is on right now. So it's switched to the down position. Starter generator switch on start. That's here. Starter generator switch set to start. Battery switch on. Now you want to do this at the same time. Battery switch on, low RPM audio switch off once, because that audio is going to go off. So we go to battery switch on, and we go down here, and the low RPM audio switch is here. We just click it off. There we go. Fire warning indicator light, press to test. So my fire warning works. If I start on fire, that light should show up. And it is something I can do. I can do it, man. Fuel gauge test. Press to test. Fuel gauge switch. There it is. We have lots of fuel. We actually don't want that much fuel for firefighting. This happened again. It loaded in, filled up. Most aircraft don't do that. So that's interesting. System instruments check. You check all your instruments. Make sure they are reading as they should. Avionics equipment set as required. So if you have things like this, set that up. Any other avionics that you would set. This one doesn't have it. Okay, so this one's a little simpler. It's just got radios. I've been flying the Huey a lot. Governor switch set to auto. Now that is right here. We go down here. This is the governor switch, and we want it set to auto right there. Okay. DI switch off. Uh-oh. Where's my DI switch? DI switch. That's something I haven't run into yet. Oh, I might have missed one. That is chip detector. That is hydraulics. That is force feedback. That's the hoist. De-ice is here. Switch to off. It's off. Check. Main fuel switch to on, which is right here. So if you see, we're following this flow. We're still following a flow. We're going to switches that are next to each other. Aux fuel switch is all set to off. This is right here. Caution, panel light switch, test and reset. So test these. Look at how good all this works. Reset. Hydraulic switch on. That is here. We just checked that. Force trim switch on. That is here. We also checked that. Chip detection switch set to both. That is here. Flight control check, free and correct. Altimeter set QNH value. Okay, we are not set. We don't have weather on. So I'm just going to hit the B key, make sure we're correct. Check our controls. As I like to point out, this is also for you making sure you're not going to spill things in your little chair and stuff. Okay, controls are free, and making sure maybe your controls aren't going to fall off if you have them attached to the desk. So it's good. You want to always check your controls. Fire guard posted if available. There's no fire guard today, so unavailable. Rotor blades check clear and untied. So here we are currently inside. We're just going to have to look out and check. I don't see any tie downs. I also don't see my rotors. I can't actually see them from in here. I guess I should have had a better view when I was out there. I don't see them. There they are. They are free and they're not tied down. Okay. Next we have throttle set for start. So the throttle in this is set just... Oh, I guess it wasn't set right. There we go. So it's set, it's just cracked, basically. You just crack the throttle. Once the idle release comes up, then it's cracked. There we go. Now we're going to press the start button. We want the rotor turning at 15% and 1, starter release at 40% and 1. So let's do that. This is going to be fun. Things are going to get loud. The sounds are just spectacular. They're really fun. So this is different though, because you have the throttle on to start, unlike Jet Rangers and 500Es where you roll the throttle on after you get to a certain point. This one, the throttle is on when you start it. We are looking here. So you're watching this. At 15%, the rotor should turn. So just before that 20 right there, rotor should be turning. And then at 40, we can release. There's my rotors I can see in the shadow. There they are coming across. Rotors are turning. Keep going up. And by now, there, I just heard the click, so you can release the starter. I was holding the starter that whole time. So you're going to want to go in, use the manual, set up as many buttons as you can, as with any helicopter. Not every plane needs that, but every helicopter deserves it. Now, it's going to idle at about 70%, which is just about what we get if we leave it alone. If we just leave it alone, It'll idle at about 70%. We have one light on the cautionary panel. What is that? Whoops, let's go like this. The inverter. So we keep going here. Inverter switch to on. Continue your checklist, dude. So there's a spare and there's an on. It's a three-way switch. We turn it to on. There it is. Engine and transmission oil pressure check. So now we go here. We make sure that the engine and transmission oil are all the gauges are where they're supposed to be. Starter gen switch to standby gen. Starter generator switch to standby gen. So that's there, right there. Throttle slowly advance to full. Systems check engine, transmission, AC/DC, RPM. So we're just about ready to fly here. Boy, am I even ready. Someone said they turned this, they turned this to main gen, which would make sense. That's not on the checklist. So I'm doing this completely on my own. See if the RPM limit goes off. Roll up the throttle slowly. I don't think you need to, since I've broken it once already. We'll see how she goes. It really gives you that thumping in the ear sound. That's indicates that the throttle's all the way up, but I haven't rolled it all the way to the top. When I roll it all the way to the top, the needles split. Now that's the only time they split. I'm going to show you. I'm going to roll the throttle off. You'll see that this is what you would do to test it. It's not in the checklist because it doesn't happen. This is what I tried to talk to Sebastian about at Flight Sim Expo. So this is what I mean. Roll the throttle off. Nothing really happens. It's still not happening. I mean, the throttle is rolled off now. It should be going down and the needles should have split. Engine should, but nothing happened. So roll it back up. There we go. And we'll see what happens on shutdown. So we are going to go over. So we're going to just check it out a minute. We're going to just check it out a minute. A little hover check. Then we will go over and get some water, which I failed to do, but now I think I got it working. We'll see what happens. Oh, you know what? I forgot to program something. I'm going to program something right now. So the toggle taxi light dumps the water, but I forgot to program the button for releasing the hose. Release the hose! Let's see. Oh, here it is. So, select water tank on tablet. That's what we did. You saw the tablet. That's where I got it. Adjust the weight fuel. Reduce to a max of 30%. So I need to reduce my fuel to 30%. Because it is way beyond. That's way too heavy for the water tank. If we want to dump any water on anybody, we need to reduce the fuel. So I had the fuel truck come over and suck out a bunch of fuel. It was all reused. Trust me, it's all good. We didn't just dump it on the ground. Map key for deploy hose, bind toggle logo lights. So now I think I can do this. Go here and onto my controls. And I'm pretty sure I still have room on this controller for toggle logo lights. Boy, that's hard for me to say. Let me see if this input is done. Oh, duh. I use that all the time and I don't even know what it is. So how about this input there? There's an input that I do not have use for. Toggle logo light. Boy, why is that so hard to say? Toggle logo lights. Okay. So I'm going to hit this, and then I'm going to remember as well. Validate, apply and save. Now we'll see as I fly along how this works. But the hose now is stowed. See the hose all stowed right there? Isn't it pretty? It's fantastic, man. This tank is cool. There we go. And we'll see when we get closer how well this works. Get into a nice hover. Actually, before I do that, let's do that. I always like to do... Why are you not centering? Center. There we go. I always like to do my head tracking. Be my tracker. Link in description. Always like to use this when I can. It leans to the right, and you need a good amount of left pedal. It's taking it up real slow. There's our hover check. Yes. It is very steady. So some may think it's too steady. We'll find out if I ever get to fly a Huey. It's the only way I will know. I will never know by reading people's comments, because everyone's feel for things and look of things and VR setup, etc. Everyone's is different. Okay, now let's go get some water. Go get some water there. I have lots of footage of this just flying around. And trust me, it flies beautifully. It cruises beautifully. It flies beautifully. I like the map. I like the GPS. And just about any time you do a mission in a modern day helicopter, you'll probably have a GPS up there on the dash. If you have looked up, if you're like me and you've looked at hundreds of 205 UH-1 cockpits. Now there's a little lake right there. I could get water right there. I don't have to go far. Just want to fly it a little. It cruises easily at 100 plus. Actual cruise speed of these is probably closer to 80 with most models, most examples, especially when you get a little heavier with a water tank on it. So we're going to go and do the big lake and try not to pick up some fish. So, uh-oh, what did I just set for the hose? Okay, let me get down over. Listen to that. Listen to that. Yeah, so will that drop if I just do that? It will. All right. And if I do it again, no, it won't come back up. Well, that's interesting. That should be toggle hose. Nope, it's not doing it. All right. Wild. Now I need to slow down and get way down here by the water. Have a big old lake to do this, so lots of room. We want to keep our speed going until we get very close to the water, and then we slow down. Don't want to get into VRS. Now you need a lot of collective to get into a hover above the water. A lot of collective. And you need to put even more in once you start taking on water. I mean, you can feel it. It's great. I should get a green light. There's a loading light. Loading light could take up to 2 minutes now. It's really hard to keep this going. Oh yeah, see, I'm actually in the water. I'm actually parked on the lake. It's hard not to do that. So there's the first third. Get it back in the air. There we go. Should I show you that first part? I don't know. So we sit here for a bit. It's okay if you move around. And there's good. That's good. So that's a good amount. See if my hose will stow now. Nope. Hose will not stow. Okay. At least this is all working correctly. This is all working good. It's really great. And there is no actual fire. No actual fire to hit. And there's no tower here. I was thinking of dropping water on the tower. But there's no tower either. I turned on planes. I know, we should try and hit a vehicle. Let's see if we can hit a vehicle. Is there anything driving around? Oh, maybe those only drive around when I'm down there. Oh, there's something. Okay, we'll come back around and see if there's any way I can hit that. I have to get lined up so we can see it. I think we'll see it there. I believe so. We shall find out. I have a replay set up, so I have no idea what we'll hear in the replay, but you want to be slow for water drops. Oh, my vehicle disappeared. No more vehicle. I swear it was right there. Is that it? There's something. You gotta go right through the smoke for a water drop. Go out here. Oh, shoot. There it is. Did we get him? Oh, we missed. We missed. We missed the vehicle, and the hose will not stow. Now, I'm going to land and see if the hose stows. If we can stow the hose. And then, as I usually do, I'm going to do a auto rotation. You'll see that they're not very eventful, and it doesn't seem like they're very accurate. If this is an accurate auto rotation, then I would feel very safe in this Huey. Very safe. So, see, my hose is dangling down there. Will it stow now that I'm on the ground? No, it will not stow. It won't do it. I have to go here. I thought that toggling that button would make it release or come back. Map water release, map deploy hose, toggle logo lights. Yeah, that's what I did. Toggle logo lights. Oh, maybe I did the wrong thing. Okay, so actually, let's make sure. Let's have a look. Let's make sure I've got toggle logo lights, not set logo lights, or some other such and such. So this is what I set. Toggle logo lights, that's what it says. All right. All right. Go back and stow the hose. Bambi bucket steps, water tank, particle separator. There we go. Oh, maybe that has to be off. Ooh. Okay, let me try this now that that's off. Nope. It still doesn't work. It will not stow. It will only deploy. Okay. Stash that. Said I was going to do an auto rotation. Auto rotation. Then we'll place it back on the helipad and shut her down. And stay tuned. There could be some more flying at the end. It'll mostly be fun stuff. Flying about. Try a quick takeoff. Which, this is how I broke the helicopter yesterday, live on stream. Alrighty. It's doing it fine now. Oh, I'm not as loaded up. I had full tank of fuel and full complement of troops. And I guess I started on fire. Put the collective all the way in my armpit. So we're going to do between 60 and 80, 80 and 60. Oh, I turned my... No, that's still on. And we're just going to do a runway. We're going to use the runway for our landing. I'm a little low. What is my altitude here? I'm trying to read my maps as I do this. 550 feet, so I need to be at about 1500 to do this comfortably. And that's about right there. Little high. Little high is always better when you're doing an auto. And we'll see if anything happens. I think I have to roll the throttle all the way off. It didn't work a moment ago. I can turn back towards the airport. So this will be a straight in. Nothing fancy because I don't think it works that well. And I haven't used any trim yet. It trims, the trim works really well. It does have heli trim, which is forced trim, simulated forced trim, which means it takes the force off of the cyclic. It doesn't actually trim the aircraft. It's a different thing. It just makes it so you can relax your arm a little bit. Okay, we're way too fast to do this, so we'll slow it on down. Much slower, much slower. Right about here should be good. Throttle is rolled off, collective is down. See that nothing happens. Collective's down, throttle is rolled off. Got it all the way rolled back. You can't tell, really. And nothing. Nothing at all, no difference. So I don't know what's happening. Now you'll see when I go to land, I think it'll wind down. So we'll give it a little bit of a flare and we'll land. And there we go. But you see, if this actually would auto-rotate like that, you would be extremely safe in these things. And no one would ever get hurt. I don't think that's quite it. Yeah, so even on the ground now, the needles aren't splitting. It's barely, I've got the throttle all the way closed. See, there it is. It's all the way before idle release, and it's going down very slowly. So roll it back up. The shutdown is going to take a minute. We'll go through the shutdown list. Why not? It's a beautiful aircraft. I hope all this is recording. Man, that's going to suck if I forgot to hit record or something. Oh, I see that it is. Okay. And just taxi back over to my helipad. It's right over here somewhere. There's nothing about this that's not fun. I get, what's the word? Impatient with hover taxis. I get very impatient with hover taxis. But in this one, it's just a ball. Just a ball. Now, I was parked over here, and I was parked pointing that away. So we'll bring it in and point the same way and park it the same way. Should be exactly how I left it. I have some effects for special effects, so some of this that you're seeing, some of that dust is sim effects from Parallel 42. Have I gone this far without mentioning Parallel 42? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness me. Okay, there it is. You see how gently that lands? Oh. Could everyone just pay Taog for some flight dynamics near the ground like that? Anyway, there we are. Let's shut her down. So, go to the shutdown checklist over here, which I have to find again because I scrolled past it. Engine shutdown. Throttle idle for 2 minutes. So, let's roll it down. This is going to go off again. See, nothing's happening. This is not unusual for a Asobo flight dynamics. This is rolled all the way off. Idle for 2 minutes. Forced him. It's not. Apparently not going to idle. Force trim switch on. Pitot heat switch on, then off. Oh, that's interesting. Is that like to test it? Pitot switch is up here. So on, then off. Okay. And now it's going down. Inverter switch off. Check caution light. Switch to spare. Check caution light. Inverter switch off. Oh, now, I'm sorry. Now my alarm's going off. Okay. Back up here. Inverter switch off. Check caution light. Switch to spare. Check caution light. Off. Caution light is on. Main gen switch off. Check DC generator caution light. Now, is this inverter switch, main generator, main starter generator, throttle close? Okay, I haven't closed the throttle yet. Main generator switch off, check DC generator caution light. Main generator switch off. That's not generator. That's this one. Oh, off. That's reset. Off. Check lights. Check. Then on, close guard. There we go. Starter generator switch to start. So you do that now. Starter generator switch to start. Throttle closed. It's been at least 2 minutes. So I actually have a button for my idle release. Hit the idle release and close the throttle. It should have closed it. Yes, it did. Now we're coming down. So that's what should have happened that's exactly what should happen with an auto rotation. It should look just like that. Except that this engine needle, well, kind of. It appears the engine needle should drop like that and the rotor should stay up and you keep the rotor in the green. So that's what I'm talking about if anyone's wondering. It only happens at shutdown, but it appears it could happen. It seems like it's a minor switch for either Asobo or developers to make that work. Main fuel switch off. That's here. Again, the sounds. Avionics switch. Avionics switch. Oh, avionics switch off. That's here. No, that's anti-collision. Where's the avionics switch? I missed something. Here's the inverter. Avionics switch. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't turn it on. Avionics is here. And I didn't turn these on. I don't know where the main switch is. That doesn't seem like that was on the checklist. Okay, overhead switch is off. Overhead switch is off. So actually, the rotor isn't stopped. So I would not turn the anti-collision off yet. All these switches are off. You can turn this light off. Turn this to off. And the batteries doesn't go off yet because, again, while that rotor is turning, you want people to know battery switch off. Not yet. You want that light on until you have used the rotor brake, which is here, and it works. Right here, and it works. There we go. I wonder, I can't see the rotor very well. There it is. I like to try and stop it straight out, but to get it straight out, in reality, you usually will just grab it and turn it until it's straight. See where it stops. Maybe he has a program to stop right in the middle. See what happens. Takes a minute, even with the rotor brake, eh? Oh, here. Nope, it doesn't stop in the middle. It was up to me. So that's a fun game you can play on Shutdown if you would like to. Now that we've done that, the main battery switch off. Oh, takes a second, because that's when it resets and counts your time in the aircraft and all that fun stuff. Master caution should not be on as the battery's off. Well, that's interesting. That can't be on. Everything's off. Maybe because this is on main. Let's turn this to... I think it was there. What's that do? Nope. So that's... okay. Not a big deal to me, you know, but it's still on. Okay, let's egress from the aircraft. We pop out here, and thank you so much for watching. Oh, wait, we're not really done. We're going to see some helicopters flying around now. Just some music and helicopters. Should be fun. See you next time. Be sure and sub. Hit that sub button. It would help us out. nice, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, come on, man. That's just too fun. I thought I was sick of that song, but, you know, in that context, whoa. 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 One more time, you want to record it? Oh no, that was it. That was. I don't even think I can keep streaming now because I can't do anything better than that. I said I was going to get in the 205. I mean, come on. This is like, come on. That's just it. That was the shiznit. That was beautiful. Really nicely done, Mr. Red Heron. Oh yeah. Let's have a few cheers for the photographer. Let's have a hand.